back to what Constantine was saying before about the iPad, tablet, personal computer becoming a big market. So this is the ebook discussion that I want to have with you guys. What is ebook? Electronic book, meaning that a book is no longer printed on paper, but it's actually on like this. Well, this is kind of iPad, but this kind of tablet for you to read, for you to mark the information, for you to print out if you want, or for you to share, for you to print. Okay, what kind of impact would this have, you think? The media industry, the telco industry, etc.?
Education also.
Yeah, huge education, right? Yeah, e-learning. Yeah, so it could potentially bolster a lot of e-learning portals. Yeah, it could also, if you think far enough, generate more business for scanners, because now more documents need to be scanned, right? And it could also generate more business for telcos, because a lot of the telcos are actually, especially with iPad, are like for example with Chola Telecom, they're selling iPads, not Tankun and not Quanguo. So that's going to impact some electronic stores, right? And it's going to impact telcos positively because, as we said in the chart earlier, it's too far back. There's already over 100% penetration for handset cell phones. So to generate additional revenue, where are they going to go to? They're going to go to upgrade to smartphones and also selling ebooks or iPads and stuff like that. Yeah. And what Tandy, right? Oh no. Sarah was saying earlier, the notebook manufacturers that are what Sarah said could be potential losers, they should actually come around and become winners here, maybe. So that's why you have Acer, and you have Asus, and you have all these previous notebook or IT manufacturers renovating themselves and renewing themselves so they can make ebooks. And then the previous losers, like you said, the publishers, for example, Tenbang, everybody knows Tenbang, right? It's a traditional publisher, 商业周刊, tons of books, etc. You would think that they would be a loser, but actually they're coming back. And so they're making their information now available online. So if you buy their book, maybe you get an ebook version. If you buy their magazine, maybe you also get their e-version. Okay? And they can actually say, why would they do that? They're cannibalizing or eating into each other's profit margin. But if you think of it from a point of view from Tenbang, they can think two ways. One is, this is actually good because I'm getting there before somebody else, illegally put my stuff on there. And second, I'm actually creating a value proposition to my potential 商业周刊 sponsors or advertisers, because I'm not only giving them a page on 商业周刊, but also giving them a banner on my 商业周刊 application or ebook platform. So, yeah. Anything else on this category?
So that the one that never loses is the content provider.
The content provider, actually, no. Because, like I said, in 2 years, mankind has produced the same amount of information as the last 5,000 years, right? And so where's that content coming from? Definitely Turner, Fox, all those companies can't make that much content to feed, right? And so there's a lot of UGC. Do you know UGC? User-generated content. For example, when Yang Sujun was humiliated at Guangzhou Asian Games, wasn't there a guy who was doing something not too nice about Koreans, and then didn't he do something about the mainland Chinese maybe 2 months ago, and his video was watched by tens of millions of people, like in 2 weeks. Do you know who I'm talking about? Does anybody know that video? A guy who was like carrying a Chinese flag and like going all over Taipei and saying no to like Shanghai 银行或是重庆街 as a protest against China. Huh? Yes. And it also was like the news channels also reported it. Well, you guys must study really, really hard. Yeah. So a lot of user-generated content is part of that. And so who's commoditizing from that? Definitely not the content users, right? They're just providing that because they want to share with their friends or they think it's creative. And actually sometimes really spontaneous content has more viewership than scripted shows like The Good Wife or Friends or Heroes. So no one really knows. And then more and more stuff is actually being shared or illegally uploaded or pirated because it's so easy without paying for the copyright. So I really don't know who's winner or losing, because right now it's a big shuffling. Yeah. And it's even harder to tell when you have a lot of integration of the content owners and the platforms. It's all one, right? Maybe one of the biggest winners for now is the consumers, right? Because we have so much choice and we have so much competition that is lowering the costs of all these things. And definitely, one other thing outside of cost is convenience. It's becoming extremely convenient for us to access information that we need, anytime, anywhere, anyhow, right? So maybe it's a consumer for now, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. And then some of the big winners, like obviously Facebook and Apple, and like games that have had millions of hits, like Angry Bird, right? Angry Bird has grossed $50 million in 2009. Does anybody know Angry Bird?
Yeah.
If you know Angry Bird, raise your hand. Oh. Angry Bird is basically just a game where you're shooting like a chicken, no, not a chicken, a ball at buildings, and if it shatters and it kills like chickens. It's like a really simple game, and it took them like a month to make, and they made $50 million. And then what Google is doing now is basically acquiring these companies at a valuation of $25 million and buying them up 1 or 2 companies per month. So definitely those are winners. Yeah.